You've seen Clint Eastwood as the calmest man in the room, the quiet cowboy, the director who never raises his voice and never explains himself. But here's what Hollywood doesn't like to admit. Behind that silence are grudges so deep, some of the biggest stars on earth were erased from his life forever. No second chances, no forgiveness, no public feuds, just gone. Tonight, we're breaking open the 6 names Clint Eastwood never moved past, the people who stood beside him at the top, then crossed a line they could never uncross. And once you hear who they are, you'll understand why Clint believes silence hurts more than words. Stay with us till the end, because the final name explains everything about who Clint Eastwood really is. Number 1, Leonardo DiCaprio, the perfectionist who tested Clint's patience. What could make Clint Eastwood walk away from his own set? Leonardo DiCaprio. When J. Edgar went into production, it looked like a dream match. Hollywood's most disciplined director paired with its most obsessive actor. But behind the scenes, the clash was immediate. DiCaprio arrived armed with research, notes, marked up documents, questions, endless questions. Clint didn't work that way. He believed truth happens the first time, maybe the second, but never the 6th. The breaking point came during an emotional breakdown scene. Leo delivered it perfectly. The room went silent. Clint called it, but Leo wanted another take. By the time the 6th rolled around, Clint wasn't even behind the camera anymore. He stood off to the side, coffee in hand, watching something he already believed was finished. He's still looking for something I already saw. They never worked together again. Never shared a stage. Never crossed paths. To Clint Eastwood, greatness isn't repetition, it's instinct. And once that line was crossed, there was no coming back. Number 2, Michael Moore, the insult Clint never erased. Clint Eastwood doesn't argue online. He doesn't clap back. He doesn't explain himself. He deletes people. The tension exploded when Michael Moore compared American Sniper to propaganda, a comment Clint saw as more than criticism. To him, it was disrespect toward soldiers. And Clint Eastwood doesn't tolerate that. Years earlier, he'd already drawn the line, warning publicly that Moore's style of filmmaking crossed into mockery disguised as activism. When Moore later joked about American Sniper, Clint didn't respond. He simply removed him from existence. No meetings, no mentions, no forgiveness. People close to Clint say, once you mock the people he respects, you're finished, permanently. Number 3, Barbra Streisand. Control versus instinct. 2 philosophies that could never coexist. Barbra Streisand believed in control, endless takes, total command, perfection through repetition. Clint believed the opposite, capture the moment before it dies. Their rivalry simmered quietly for years, but when Streisand exited the bridges of Madison County after prolonged indecision, Clint stepped in. He rewrote it, directed it quickly, delivered an emotional classic. The contrast was impossible to ignore. From that moment on, they avoided each other entirely. No interviews, no collaborations, no reconciliation. For Clint, she became a symbol of everything he rejected: hesitation, overthinking, and fear of trusting instinct. Number 4, Tommy Lee Jones. 2 alphas, 1 set. From day one on in the line of fire, Clint knew. 2 dominant forces, 1 camera. Tommy Lee Jones pushed scenes past cut, stayed in character, challenged direction. Clint ran silent, efficient sets, no theatrics, no ego battles. During one confrontation scene, Jones refused to stop after Clint called it. He stared him down. The crew froze. Clint leaned over and quietly said, "Life's too short for that." That was it. They never worked together again. Never reunited. Never even discussed each other publicly. Clint's rule is simple. There's only one person who calls cut. Number 5, Richard Burton. Wasted talent. Showing up ready. Richard Burton didn't. On Where Eagles Dare, Burton arrived late, unfocused, sometimes barely functional. Clint watched silently as take after take dissolved into frustration. When Burton dismissed the film as just a paycheck, something snapped. Clint summed it up in 4 words. Talented man, wasted talent. He never worked with Burton again. Number 6, Gene Seberg. Betrayal after the fall. Clint Eastwood never talks about Paint Your Wagon. And he never talks about Jean Seberg. Her unpredictability clashed with Clint's discipline. Emotion ruled her process. Structure ruled his. But the real break came later. After the film failed, Seberg publicly blamed Clint's performance. To him, that wasn't criticism, it was betrayal. He never mentioned her again. When news of her tragic death surfaced years later, Clint said nothing. Those closest to him say the silence wasn't cold, it was final. So here's the real question. Was Clint Eastwood right to cut these people out completely? Or did his silence go too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if this changed the way you see Clint Eastwood, make sure you're subscribed, because this legend still has secrets left to tell.